It's Graham here, and you're watching the Dollars and Cents Channel. Hit the like and subscribe button down below. Real talk. Today we're going to be talking about why most people are broke. The first reason we're going to be talking about is people don't build a budget. Everyone needs to build a financial plan, and if you don't have one, it's just ridiculous because you'll end up spending all of your money. You have plans with your friends. You make plans to go to the store, you make plans for everything. So why wouldn't you make a plan to budget your money? The first thing that most financial planners or financial advisors will tell you is to first write a list of all of your expenses, and second, write how much you make each month. After that, the second step is to start building a budget of how much you spend and how much you invest and how much you save. I'm going to give an example in one moment, but before that I'd like to say that everyone's situation is different, so this plan is just an example and it should be changed depending on what your financial situation is. First thing that you're going to want to do is save 6 months worth of expenses, and if you don't have any expenses, just save 20% of each paycheck. This might sound crazy to some people, but always invest more than you save, especially if you have a 6 months expenses saved, or if you're saving 20% of each of your checks, or whatever your situation is. Always invest more than you save, but that doesn't go for everyone. That's just in some situations. You definitely want to have a lot of money invested, but you definitely want to have a lot of money saved. It's not for everyone, it's just for some people. Depends on your situation. Always go in slow when it comes to investing, because your first year you might think, oh, you've been in for 5 months. You don't really experience like the actual situations until 1 year after you started investing, because that's when all the problems and stuff like that start coming up that you might have to deal with. Depending on how the economy is doing, you might want to not invest anymore just for a little bit because you think something might go wrong. You might want to keep a little bit of money. But basically, when you first start investing, just put your feet in the water. Don't go swimming before you actually know what's in the water. The last thing I want to say before we go on to the second reason is that everything has to be adjusted. You don't have to follow my exact plan. It's just a basic guidelines to starting your financial life, and that's just my personal advice. But it could be different, like if you're making more money, less money, or you're retired or something like that. Your financial situation is completely different from what I could describe in one sentence or 2 sentences. People will buy a $700 bag and not have $1,000 in their savings and no money invested, and they'll buy ridiculous things and spend all of their money on one item and have nothing left. That seems like a simple thing to do if you want to have financial freedom, is just not spend your money on stupid things when you don't have money. If you have some money invested and you have some money in your savings, feel free to buy all the nice luxury items you want to, but if you don't, then just wait until you'll have that opportunity, because everyone will eventually have the opportunity. Not saying everyone will be rich, but everyone will have some thousands of dollars eventually if they keep working hard and following financial guidelines. So I'm going to end this part of the video by saying, don't buy things you can't afford. If you can't buy 2 of something, at least 2 of something. That's just minimum. Don't buy it at all. Just don't. You should be able to buy more than 2 of something if you're buying something, but just saying, that's just like the basic line. The third reason most people go broke is because they go into debt. Lots of people go into debt by either abusing their credit cards or taking out loans they simply just cannot afford. Some people even take out loans they can't afford for luxury cars. It can really be anything, but things like this make you go into debt, which leads to you being broke. So in conclusion, in the third reason, do not take out loans that you can't afford, and don't run up your credit card unless you can pay it off in 1 month like the normal bill. Otherwise, you'll have to pay high interest rates. Other than that, credit cards can be worth it, because if you have a good credit card, you can get lounges in the airport, you can get points back, you get money back, you get basically paid, or you can get travel points, things like in that nature. The fourth reason that we're going to be talking about is people don't seek cash flows outside from their normal daily job. You should always have something on the side that makes you money. Maybe it could be an investment. It can be online reselling of anything. It can be, like I do sometimes, recently, eBay selling. Really, it can be anything. But there should be something that you have on the side that makes you money, especially if you're making not that much money. The thing that seems ridiculous to me is some people might not be able to afford their rent, but their house is full with TVs and gaming systems, and they're not considering either getting a side hustle where they sell their stuff that they have so they can get money and get out of that situation, or they don't think about getting another job and they just drown in debt. It's like they gave up on life, but you cannot do that because in the end you can't escape. Can't run! Thanks to all my subscribers for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe button down below, and let's make this video go #1. So share this with everyone you know. Thank you.